Hey.
Hi, guys.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to season 2. Woo. Oh my gosh, we made it this far.
Yeah. We're here with the recording.
I know.
We're back after a month of not doing anything.
Well, more like 2 weeks. Let's be so for real.
That's true.
Issa and I have many big plans this season for guests and for launching this podcast into the next level of this pod because we think that we have something really cool.
And we're here to share it with you.
Yeah.
Today we're going to kind of just talk about what we've been up to, our thoughts about the Tonys. And then, this podcast happens to be coming out on a day that has some weird connotation to it. So we're going to talk about media that reflects America.
Yeah.
And I think neither of us are pro what's going on in this country at the moment.
No, not a
but
little bit.
There is media that I think is fun and encapsulates what America feels like and has some fun going on.
Yeah,
so
the good, the bad, the ugly, the not so ugly, the slay. Slay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Issa.
Oh.
Eeny, meeny, okay. I'll go first.
Okay.
My
goddess of the day.
Thanks for asking, Issa. My goddess of the day is 10-3-30.
Oh, okay. On the treadmill?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. I've been doing that for I've been doing that for 3 weeks straight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's seeing results. Starting to see results and I'm like, oh, I could blow away at the with a gust of wind, I'm gone. I'm in the trees.
Every day.
Every day. Wow. Did it today. Been waking up at 6:45 a.m.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That sounds awful.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
It's okay. It's good. What about you? What's your goddess of the day?
My goddess of the day is starting new things.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to have a new setup and starting the new season. And yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
We're doing new things. I mean, okay, do we want to maybe tell our viewer some of the fun plans that we have before we talk about what we've been up to?
Yeah, sure. We have a lot of guests that we have potentially coming, which is very exciting. I think guests are a really great way to get other people's insights into the industry.
Yeah.
And I'm just really excited to have a lot of them. What else? We also just love that we're doing video now.
I know.
And we'll expand our YouTube presence. Yeah, our socials. I think we really actually want to put a lot of effort into those as well this season because we know that is kind of how things like this get picked up these days.
Yeah, Issa and I have talked to many a podcast professional in the last 6 months who have all said, without consulting the other, be on YouTube, be on socials, and we're like,
totally.
What if we don't have a professional setup?
Yeah.
So here we are.
Woohoo! Anything else?
I mean, I'm just excited to, just almost choked on my spit. I'm kind of excited to see what this next chapter brings because it's so cute. I guess this podcast is a good way to document where Issa and I were 6 months ago, where we're now for the next 6 months, and so on and so forth. When Issa's sick of me, but I'm just excited to see what happens to us this season.
Yeah, I feel like we say it literally every single podcast, but the industry is really slow right now.
The industry's slow.
And I do think it'll pick back up in
the fall.
Yeah, in this season of our podcast. So hopefully we have more interesting stories to tell and get on set more than we have been.
Issa came with me to an apartment tour the other day and I got a C-mail message and I literally jumped for joy. I was like, oh, thank God.
I know. I got 2 auditions from my agent yesterday and I was like, 2 in one day?
Oh
this is freaking
God.
crazy. But
That's awesome.
yeah, I have to film those after this.
Okay.
You know. What have you been up to?
It feels like nothing, and then I was writing it, and I was like, I've been up to things. I started a new job.
Yes.
Thank God. It was getting bleak.
Yeah.
But now I'm working at a really cute store, and it's run by really awesome girls who are really kind and in the industry, out of the industry, and it's just, I'm also the youngest by like at least 3 years. So it's kind of nice to hear their perspectives on being in LA and being a young adult in LA, and so that's really cute.
Yeah.
I'm also making new and truer connections in and out of work. So meeting friends and meeting mentors who I didn't think who came out of an unexpected place, and people who genuinely are good humans in this industry and in this city that want to help and want to be a sounding board, whether they're in the industry or not. And so that's really cool.
You're also about to move.
Oh yeah, I'm about to move. That's fun. The bleep. What about you, Issa?
I also said like not much. I've been relaxing, I guess. My days off are very precious to me. I also have a rash that keeps spreading. It's called pityriasis rosea. So there's literally nothing I can do about it. Today it's reached my fingers, so that's really awesome.
Oh, I can't even see it.
There's tiny little bumps on my fingers now that are like sore. So that's like super cool.
Especially with your job.
Yeah, especially scooping ice cream today. I'm going to be like,
ow, ow.
This isn't fun.
No.
But, you know, trying to figure out ways to heal it faster than 6 weeks, like my derm told me.
No.
So we will see. And I'm hoping that I don't have it forever.
You won't.
Well, some people apparently have it for like 2 years.
Okay, a lot of skin conditions do last that long. Hopefully, I think we'll have a guest actually come on and talk about that later this season. But I don't think it would be much more serious. Serious if it were.
Hopefully, it just takes 6 weeks and then I'm good.
Yeah. Come August.
Yeah. You won't
better be.
I won't be bumpy and red
Uncomfortable.
at all. Yeah.
Oh, babe.
It's okay though.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
I know. I'm like, it's hard to answer solid what are we up to's because it's vacation for everyone besides up and comers.
Yeah, and there's also like it's so hard in the industry because there's certain things where you want to talk about something but you literally can't. And you're like, this is actually super cool, and then it's like, oh, but I can't tell you anything. The thing that we've talked about with our like that's so cool that we have that connection, but
we can't necessarily like
say anything. Which there's nothing to super say right now, but
but still, like it's not too far in the horizon that we can't see it, but it's far enough that we're like legally in terms of making things harder for ourselves. We can't really say anything now, and it's actually nothing eventful is happening, but they're coming towards us.
Yeah, and it could, and we don't want to shoot ourselves in the foot. So anyways, the Tonys.
What's your thoughts?
Most of it wasn't that surprising to me.
Yeah.
I didn't get that many things right on my ballot, but the things that I didn't get right, I saw coming.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that was surprising to me was Best Lead Actress being Nicole Scherzinger.
That wasn't surprising to me at all.
I'm surprised that, and I think we talked about this when we talked about the Tonys last time, like she's an outward Trump supporter. And I'm surprised that a team of theater people voted for her and could look past that. Because I think, yes, a lot of the Broadway League is old white guys, but a lot of them are in New York, and New Yorkers are pretty socially liberal.
Sure. I think we used to be family friends, like extended. It gets confusing with the Jewish family. You're like, we're related somehow, I guess, maybe.
Yeah.
To someone who has Tony voted before. And love them, all respect. It's more of just, and like growing up in the towns and the parts of New York that we did, there's this thing called limousine liberals, where they'll be like, yeah, we're super liberal, like fuck this administration because fuck this administration, but like then they'll go and do something like this where the most artsy performance, whether they have been involved in the politics of art, which I think is a very political thing, and especially right now. I think they're overlooking the politics of the art and choosing something that makes them look good.
Yeah. But like at the same time,
so disappointing.
Yeah. And no offense to her, and what I've seen from her performance, it was very beautiful.
Sure.
But this is her first time on Broadway. She hasn't been working up to be on the big stage. Like, she was already famous.
Yeah.
There are other people that were in that category that have spent a lot more effort trying to get there than she has.
I was going to say one of my thoughts about the Tonys was Megan Hilty and Jennifer Simard snubbed. I love Audra. Audra's fantastic. She was a shoo-in. Like, she's won pretty much every single time she's been nominated, except like this one. But Megan and Jennifer are so good. And they're doing something original, and they've been working since they were our age, and they're in their 50s now.
Yeah. There is also something about, and this kind of goes for Audra as well, something about a revival winning Best Actress where it's like, someone did that already. Like, you're not originating something that feels weird for them to win Best Actress to me.
Yeah.
Because there was someone that you could go off of before. Whereas if you're originating something, you personally created that character. And for Audra and Nicole, those characters already existed. Whether they interpreted them their own ways or not, there were already interpretations out there.
I think you make a great point of probably a big reason why people leaned towards Nicole versus Audra. It's because, and I'm not qualified to talk about the inner workings of a mixed skin tone Black family. Just not. But I've heard reviews from Gypsy that it's not besides that, it's not necessarily the most groundbreaking production of Gypsy, whereas Jamie Lloyd is famous for taking a golden age musical and absolutely just turning it on its head. And I think that's something that Tony voters love to see. They don't love original work. They just love to see other works being made artsy. Yeah,
and every Broadway diva has been in Gypsy.
I've been in Gypsy.
But it's like, Audra being in Gypsy isn't some revelation.
No, it's just, damn, it's about damn time. Like,
yeah. But I was sad to see her not leave, or not leave, not win.
A Tony. Leave with a Tony?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
if someone wants to sponsor us to have a professional podcast studio, we'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, I think the person that lives below me is a DJ.
That's awesome.
I don't know if you guys can hear the music. Hopefully not.
If they can, that's so funny.
Yeah. My last thing is Sarah Snook Slay.
Oh, Well, yes.
I knew she was gonna win.
Oh, there was no one else.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. She deserved the win. Yeah. That's a revival that deserved the win. She played every single character in the show.
Yeah, and was a woman doing it.
And so that's originating a role
Yeah.
in my eyes.
Yeah. What about you?
My last thought is, yay, Darren!
Oh, yes. Yay, Darren.
Yay, Darren. We love to see Darren Criss, who's just, I've heard, a great guy all around, win. And also we love to see AAPI men represented in just a authentic and modern way that's not just about sad stories.
Yeah.
And we just, like... We love to see a Glee cast member win.
Did you see the pictures of him and Chris Colfer afterwards, where Chris was like holding the Tony and was like, Darren left me with this. I was just taking selfies with it. I was like, and this is what I needed.
Yeah.
This was a win for both of you.
This was a win for the gay community.
Yeah. For the Gleeks out there.
For the Gleeks.
Yeah.
Gleek.
Okay.
So let's start talking about, unfortunately, but also kind of fun, the United States of America.
Yeah. This music is crazy right now.
But you know what? What a way to bring in our podcast episode.
I really hope you can't hear it in these mics. I'd be surprised if you could hear it, but
I think it might be like a low rumble, but... Oh,
I'm like,
my God.
on the verge of being like, don't.
Someone did that to me the other week.
Oh.
But, okay, granted, it was 11 p.m. on a Tuesday night, and I was dancing around, being very dainty, I thought. And I just hear from up above, like from below, like boom, boom, on
like,
my floor. And I'm like, wait, I thought I was just gliding across my floor. Like,
they're playing We Come Too Far Together. We're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get lucky.
We need a Darty.
We go down. Hey. Yeah, we're going to talk about movies, TV, music, theater artists that encapsulate USA in
I can't get over this.
in one way or another.
Sure.
And some of mine are silly. Some
of mine are very silly. Like
most of mine are silly.
Most of mine are silly, and some of mine are silly and serious.
Yeah. So what do you have for movies?
Okay, this is one of my it is silly, but also extremely serious. Okay. And I do not joke about this whatsoever. My favorite movie encapsulating the United States is the Hunger Games series.
That's not explicitly the U.S. though.
Yes, it is. They talk about how Panem is like the American.
Sure.
And how literally District 12 is Appalachia.
Sure.
And there's a dictator who was elected as a president who makes dumb moves based on the game makers. People sing songs and march in the streets against him. Huh. All I'm saying is, where's Katniss Everdeen right now? Bring her out.
Well, in that timeline, she won't be here for another 5 years. Okay,
so then I'll take it. I'll take over. I'll be Katniss.
Like, I volunteer as tribute.
Okay, just give me a blonde hunk and I'm good. I'm set. Okay, I'm set.
That's all you need.
That's all I need.
My first one, I have one serious one and one silly one.
Okay.
My serious one is Nickel Boys. That's think
amazing.
That is a part of U.S. history that is not talked about enough, and it's one of those things where it happened a little too close to now.
Yeah.
And you're like, this person that went to this essential, like, jail, slave jail,
existed.
Yeah, and is still alive today.
Yeah.
That shouldn't.
What's so interesting about that too is like the whole idea of the black and white pictures and history books making that era of time seem so far in the past.
Yeah.
When really the people who were involved in that most of them are still alive today.
Yeah. And that's scary.
Horrifying.
And crazy. And the fact that the Reformant school, I think is the official name, the Reformant school that it's based on was closed in 2011.
Yeah.
What do you mean? 2011?
Yeah.
That's insane. And that's really fucking scary and weird. And I think it just puts you into like, you think that all these people are from the 1920s and 1930s or the 1800s, and then the person is writing it in the early 2000s, and you're like, oh.
You're like,
right.
Shit.
Right.
Fuck, bup.
Yeah. My other one is Greece.
I feel like our friend group has been on a Grease kick lately.
Shout out my friend Colette. She's my best friend in elementary school and middle school. And there was one time, the summer between, I want to say 5th and 6th grade, we had an 11-day long sleepover, and we watched Grease at least twice every single night. So I have seen that movie plenty of times.
It's a great movie.
I think it really encapsulates what America was seen as in the 50s, 60s, 70s, because it's this big school fair and they're at high school and they all have souped up cars and there's cheerleaders and there's drag racing in the normal sense of the word, and they're smoking cigarettes and they have their hair slicked back, and it's what you think of when you think America in the 50s, in my opinion.
I agree. I think that it's also interesting to see now with our adult lens Grease, because it's one of those movies that is very smart because it has all of that, like this is the 50s, yada yada, greaser, but also the fear of the Red Scare is definitely like a part of it, and the idea of greasers and being low income versus what the fiscal divide was is really interesting to me. Yeah,
and I just think it's a fun movie. People still enjoy it now, and I just feel like it's so sock hop, school dance, going to the drive-in. Like, that is so quintessential America.
And Rydell is Venice High School.
Oh, really? That makes sense.
Drive by it. You'll be like, oh, that's Rydell.
Well, all of, like, they drag race in the LA River.
Yeah.
Because there's just no river.
There's no water.
Yeah.
So funny. Yeah, I always forget that it takes place in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And then I'm like,
the beach.
Yeah, it's Venice.
Yeah.
Which... interesting to me.
What about TV shows?
TV show? Okay.
I have a lot of TV shows.
Do you want to go first then?
Sure. I have 4.
Okay.
Number 1, Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah. Totally.
It's so, like, Christian megachurch is so American, and they're from the South, and this idea of, like, just Christianity being so huge and grandiose is just not how other countries view Christianity, and it's so American.
Yeah.
Like, this bitch gets eaten by an alligator. Are you kidding? Like, what do you mean?
So good.
What do you mean? That's crazy. That one's just so American. My next one, Sex and the City.
Yeah. I agree.
Like, I think it's so New York. I don't know that it's so American.
But New York is one of the most major metropolitan cities in America.
And but I think when I think American versus New York, it's two very different ideas in my head.
New York's not America, neither is Los Angeles.
Yeah, and I think there are certain characters in it that become more ideal American, like when you see The Politician, and Aiden is pretty stereotypically American. He builds furniture and wants to live in the woods. But I think it is so American in the people are so devoutly New Yorkers. And I think it's a really good representation of New Yorkers and, like, actual New Yorkers.
Yeah, totally.
What about you? Also my other
okay.
after.
I have a few as well. I have 4, I think. Well, one is Stranger Things. I think it's very similar to Greece in the way that that's the 80s.
Yeah, them going to the mall.
Yeah, like middle of America, going to the mall, listening to Madonna, just very 80s core to the max, as well as science fiction, which was becoming a huge thing in cinema at the time. I also have another a serious one, Madam Secretary.
I haven't seen that.
It's a great show. It's basically based off of Hillary Clinton.
Oh.
But if she became president.
Oh.
But it's really cool because it's about, like, it takes you into the Situation Room, and the first female secretary, she used to be the head of the CIA, and just her the family value, the all-American family values in politics, and how behind closed doors it's not really what you think, and how to balance politics and your actual life as a woman, and those like pressures, and also the pressure to be a good politician and be a good humanitarian. It's very accurate. It's like the Grey's Anatomy of politics. Similar to like West Wing. It's like, that's a little too accurate. But.
Yeah. I had a friend once that said she wanted to go into politics, but stay like uncorrupt. I basically said, that's not possible.
It's not possible.
And
exactly.
It sucks that it's not possible, but that's just how
it's like apartment hunting.
Are.
You're like, I want in-unit laundry. I want a safe neighborhood, AC, and nice, not creepy neighbors. And you just and all
like,
under
you can only get
$2,000.
2 of the 10 that you want. Yeah, it is interesting, and of course I've been kind of clued into the New York race that happened while we were away, and Mamdani seems fantastic.
Yeah.
Of course, his policies are very socialist, and I don't know how many of them are actually going to pass. But I think having someone that stands on that business is really important to have in office, whether they pass all of them or not. But the thing is, he's a politician. Something's going on there.
Yeah.
I mean, he can't be for everyone all the time, and people are trying to catch him on that shit. People like,
oh, for sure.
MSNBC just did such a frustrating interview with him where they were saying, well, do you condemn all of this anti-Semitic things happening? Because I guess they are more pro-Israel and yada yada. He was like, it's not my language to say I condemn people, because obviously free speech is so important, but I also think that I am trying to put in place all of these policies for like less harassment, less hate crimes, all these things. And the woman would not stop. She was like, but do you condemn? People want to know. He was like, I just said I'm going to do all of these things to across the board make sure that there is anti-harassment policy. She's like, no, but people want to hear. I was like, girl, you are not listening to what he's saying.
He's not giving you the answer that you want. Go move on.
Yeah. And he has said that it's just not in his language to say, I condemn this person.
He can't legally do that.
Yeah. And I think that's something that people are like, oh, well, blah, 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 blah. Or he had connections. Like his dad is a professor and his mom is a filmmaker. So what? He grew up with some money.
Yeah.
It's better for rich people to understand that there is issues that they have the fiscal means to change than for them to say, nothing's going on here. Like, what do you mean? Like,
also, nothing's more New York than a family of color having like wealth and being well educated and making the system better.
Yeah. People just try to keep shitting on him, and they're like, wow, he's eating rice with his hands. That's not how we do it here. It's like, how do you eat a hamburger? Chicken nuggets? French fries? How do you
eat carrot stick?
Yeah. A stick of celery?
Yeah. A taco?
Yeah. Like, as if. Anyways.
Please.
So politics are corrupt no matter what, but also stand for the people that stand for the most love.
Exactly. So what are your other two? And I'll give you my other two.
My other two are 1883
Of
the
course.
prequel to Yellowstone. I don't think there's that much media about
That time.
the Oregon Trail.
No, none.
Which I think is very fascinating because I watch it and just obviously I knew that all of these white people were coming in and massacring these natives, and I knew that was a thing. But I think that show does a good job of also saying we are coming into their land and saying that there could be potential for friendship and for love, and not everybody hated all of them.
No.
It's refreshing.
It's the nuanced scope of it.
Yes, and it just provides so much representation because there are so many Native roles in that one and in 1923, which I feel like also is great for that show to have because...
Oh, yeah, we need more Indigenous actors.
Yeah, and I think all of the media from that time are all war movies and all white people.
Yeah, it's
like,
boring.
Yeah.
It's, yeah.
Yeah. And my last one is The Middle. I love that show. It's just so stereotypical middle of America.
Yeah.
Just middle class people. And I love it.
I love
that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, my other two are cartoons because you know me. I love an adult cartoon. The first one is The Simpsons for obvious reasons because they have predicted everything that's ever happened in America ever.
Yeah, and it's like the longest running
show in history.
Yeah.
And it's just about you don't know which Springfield they're in. It's just an American town and a what's it called? My wheels are churning.
Yeah.
The nuclear family. That's what it's called. A nuclear family going through like the everyday motions and the hijinks that ensue in that, and very just American. And also you think of like American TV shows, and that's the longest running American TV show of all time. So like,
yeah.
Also, The Great North.
We tried to watch it. We couldn't get into it.
Okay, you have to watch a few episodes of it. That's how you get into it.
We've seen like 4 or 5 maybe.
Just keep
I think
along.
we just tried to watch it right after Bob's Burgers. We were like, this is no Bob's Burgers.
It's not Bob's Burgers, but I think it's really interesting because it's just a bunch of quirky Alaskans.
Yeah.
And it's also, what I really like about it is similar to 1883 is it is one of the most diverse cartoon shows that I've ever seen, where there is a huge indigenous population in Alaska because there is a huge indigenous population in Alaska, and they're main characters, but they're not natives and like what you would assume. They're just normal people. And also like what happens when you go and your family in America, which is a lot of the case for middle America and the crazy north and south that we have as a country, of generations and generations and generations of people stay there. And you only see media really that's the kid is unhappy that they're in the generation that has to stay, so they venture out. But what if they're totally like content with living their life where they are?
Yeah, and that I feel like is so normal. And I feel like in every piece of media they want to venture and
out,
not stay where they were raised, and yada yada. Yeah,
and I mean there's like characters like that in the show, but they're also 13 years old, so it's their version of Paris is very different than what Paris is, and so it's just kind of a bunch of quirky people doing quirky things in Alaska. I like it. It's cute.
What about for music?
I thought we were gonna do theater first.
Oh yeah, we can. Sure.
Okay.
Theater.
I have 3 for theater. My first was True West by Sam Shepard. Very good. I saw it in Chicago it was the first time the two brothers, because it's like a 4 or 5 person play, but it follows 2 brothers, were portrayed as black men. And takes place in California, but the trailer park west side of like desert, California. And it is about this one successful screenwriter and his older brother who struggles with substance abuse comes in, and they have to live together for a weekend. And what happens when these two very American but polarizing Americans come together, and they kind of switch roles at the end and have to like fight each other for the roles that they actually want. And I think it talks a lot about American masculinity and the pressure as a man to provide and what happens when you don't, because life is life, whether you like it or not, and you might not be able to get all the goals and provide everything that you want to for yourself or your family. And so what happens when you don't, and what happens when you are in a family with someone who does, and the dynamics of that in the West, which is a very masculine place. I like it a lot. And also another one, Our Town.
Yeah.
It's just so New England, and it's so quintessential. It's one of, people call it like the American play.
Yeah.
Because it could be anywhere, and it's about appreciating the little things in the very quintessential New England town, and it's very beautiful, and I love it. And also, John Proctor is the villain by Kimberly Bellflower, because he was, and you know what, John Proctor is the villain, and that's all I have to say, and you can kind of gauge what I'm saying in the title of the play.
I wonder if people come out of the Crucible, like, if there are people that come out of the Crucible not feeling like John Proctor.
Well, don't you remember when we were in London and all of the guys, like when we saw the Crucible, and like all the guys in our class were like, yeah, John Proctor, and all the girls were like, no, he sucked.
Yeah. It is so funny I feel like that show has two shows in it, and maybe it was just the interpretation that we saw, because the interpretation
it was a little bit of confusing.
Yeah, it kind of made every single scene with the girls just a tableau.
Yeah,
it kind of took away
from the whole point of that these girls have post-traumatic stress disorder and are trying to use their voices and what little sentience that they have still to speak out against what is going on. I saw Goody Providence with the devil.
But yeah, I wonder if is there any other media about like the Salem witch trials
that had that much of a impact on America? I mean, I said John Proctor because I was going to say the Crucible, but then I was like, well, in modern day, we need to talk about how men abuse their power, but also the Crucible was about the Red Scare. Yeah. And so I don't think there was anything truly that had that much impact about the Salem witch trials as much as the Crucible or John Proctor did.
Yeah. Interesting. I feel like that's part of American history that isn't talked about.
The Salem witch trials?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's so fascinating. Yeah. It's one of those like niche interests that us quirky girls have. You know, mine's Greek mythology. Someone else's is the Salem witch trials. Yeah. We all just share.
My one piece of theater that I said, because there are a lot, but like, sure, Hamilton, but obviously.
I think I know which one you're going to say. Can I guess which one you're going to say?
Yes.
Hair?
No. Also Hair, actually. I do love Hair. But Hair doesn't feel as... It is very American, but it's not just about America. It's about America getting involved in other people's business.
I think that's inherently American.
That's true. But it's more about a war that was going on internationally.
Sure.
I was going to say West Side Story.
Oh, sure.
It's just so... American for, especially right now. Yeah. For people to say, no, you came much later than me, and so I don't like you.
Yeah.
Leave. And it's like, you also are an immigrant.
Yeah, it's the misinformation, the miscommunication, and the inability to listen to one another that makes it so American.
Yeah, and the fact that, and I was talking about this the other day because Ian had some friends in town, and we were talking about just the cycle, because his family is super Irish Catholic in Queens, and the cycle of, okay, the Dutch got here and everyone was like, fuck you. And then
the Irish got here.
Yeah, and then the Irish got here and the Dutch said, great, we have someone to shit on now.
Yeah.
And then the Italians got here.
And everyone was like, let's go shit on them. And then the Eastern Europeans got there and everyone was like, let's shit on them. And then the Latinx community got here.
Yeah, and the Asian communities. And they've all gone through New York and...
Or San Francisco.
Yeah.
Which I think is a huge thing that people don't talk about.
Oh, yeah. Because it was just so much
I think
faster.
the West Coast also talks about it more than the East Coast.
Yeah. I feel like it feels more prevalent in New York because Ellis Island is still there.
Did you do the field trip to Ellis Island ever?
No.
Damn.
But I've heard plenty of story. I don't know why.
A kid got lost on the ferry and just ended up at the Statue of Liberty when we were all at the Ellis Island.
I just remember isn't there an episode of America's Next Top Model at Ellis Island?
Yes, there is, where they walk the runway where
they like pretend to be immigrants.
By the way,
American media.
My 4th grade play, that was what our play was. We had
Ellis Island?
We had to create a character who was an immigrant from a place that we could realistically be from.
Right.
And then go through, like, it was an interactive theater. So the parents,
this is like a wax museum.
Yeah. So the parents, like, we had to stand in line, and like the parents who like come to be the audience, they're like, in order to get the ticket, they give us their ticket and then check like our eyes, check our throats, and then they can go in. Diabolical.
So diabolical. I have been to the Tenement Museum in New York.
Oh, it's awesome.
That one's so good.
Yeah.
But West Side Story just feels so American and so still relevant because for some reason people become territorial, even though you weren't here first either.
Actually, if by my watch, they were.
Yeah. Well.
Yes.
Well,
I guess
not here. A little further down.
No, California, the missions.
Oh, well, here.
Sure.
Yes, not New York.
No, I guess sure.
Yeah. Here, Mexican people, yes.
Yes.
Puerto Ricans on the other side of the country.
On the other side. It's so interesting about like New York and California because New York is Caribbean.
Yeah.
And California is Mexican.
Yeah.
And I think it's so cool. It's so interesting.
Yeah, it's such a different like subset of Southern American countries coming and how it influences everyone. But yeah, I love West Side Story.
West Side Story is so good. I do hate the most recent Broadway revival though.
Yeah,
but we've talked about this.
That's
We've ranted about this for a half an hour before.
Yeah.
We're not gonna put you guys through that again. I'm also like tearing up my notebook. Okay.
Who did you? I have 2 artists.
I also have 2 artists.
Music.
Yeah.
I have 1 song for music.
What's your song?
Party in the USA.
Well, yes, I agree. You know what? Hell yeah.
It feels like being 12. And it also feels like being at summer camp, which is so American. And I just...
Yeah.
That song slaps.
It does. It slaps so hard.
Every single word to that song.
Yeah.
You?
For me, I have one song, and it's We Didn't Start the Fire. We didn't start the fire. Every trimming door stay red. China Johnny Ray, South Pacific, more to Joe DiMaggio. Joe McCartney, Richard Nixon, Studebaker, television, North Korea, South Korea, Marilyn Monroe. I do know that every word to that song. We didn't start the fire, which like it's American because it just goes through the American history.
Yeah.
So that's pretty self-explanatory. JFK. No. Okay, what about like artists or genres of music do you think?
I have 2 artists that I think encapsulate America in 2 very different ways. My first one is Beyonce.
Oh yeah.
I just think she does a really great job of saying, I am a powerful woman of color and I'm from the South, and that doesn't make me suck.
Yeah.
And I think she represents the South in a really great way that says we also have powerful people of color no matter what our history is. And I think she does a really great job of being like a Houston symbol.
Yeah, totally. I love that.
Yeah. My second one, Bruce Springsteen.
Born to Run was also one of my songs that I was rating on.
He's just, I think he does a really great job of being really pro-America and really pro the American dream. And I love being American and I love this country. And I am also a Democrat.
He's a huge advocate for pretty much everyone's rights.
Yeah. And I think that's really refreshing to see is an old white dude saying, I love America and I also fucking hate Donald Trump.
Yeah. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but he's famously from New Jersey. Mm-hmm. He and his wife have a foundation where they fund low-income students of color who are first gen, and they fund their entire college tuition to Rutgers.
Wow. Him and Bon Jovi doing great things in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Bon Jovi goes
Jovi's
and works at
it.
soup kitchens all the time.
Yeah.
What is it with those rock guys from New Jersey?
I don't know, but also like hot. This is not my hot take, but hot take, like young Bruce Springsteen.
I'm really excited for his biopic.
Me too.
I'm curious how Jeremy Allen White's going to do. I'm curious.
I think he's going to do a good job.
I think so too, and I'm curious how political it's going to be.
I'm sure it will be.
I'm very excited. I think they just finished filming.
Yeah.
So should be out next year probably.
Holy shit.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Who do you have?
Okay, well, I said genre and then artists. Genre, I said folk.
Oh, totally.
And then for artists, this was probably the hardest question that I had to answer because this country is young, but its music history is so vast. Mm-hmm. And also the artists who are influential change depending on what season of this country we are in. Mm-hmm. So I said, okay, I'm going to limit it to the last 40 years because my brain will explode. So I said, as of recent for folk, Noah Kahan. I think he's very great at doing modern folk, and also this country famously has a substance abuse problem and talks about the idea of living in a small town and coming from a small town and staying there, but also struggling with the lows of that and what that means for him as an artist. And I really like that. And I also, my other artist, because I'm not an idiot, and I know folk, country, and pop music today would be nowhere without the black women and the brown women who forged a path with their voices. Mm-hmm. So I said Miss Lauryn Hill because thinking about any of the modern female pop girls or like Doechii and the modern rap girls, she was the paving of, like Beyonce. I was going to say Beyonce, but then I was like, well, Destiny's Child came because they were inspired, like kids inspired by Lauryn Hill. Yeah. And I think she does a great job at using poetry and R&B to talk about female frustration in the modern world. And I can't speak to all of it because, again, clearly, but she's brilliant. And I don't think that female musicians in pop would be anywhere near where they are right now if it weren't for her success.
Yeah, when I was thinking about this question, there were a lot of people that jumped out as like inherently American musicians.
I was gonna say Elvis, but then I was like, he's a thief. I don't want to put him.
So true.
So true.
But also,
one could argue the Beatles. But they're British.
Well, yes. I was more thinking
Bob Dylan.
No, let me speak.
Sorry, I'm silencing a white woman.
Like NWA and the birth
sure.
of hardcore rap in this country.
Sure, and Dr. Dre.
Yeah, well, they were in NWA.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, the birth of rap, I almost put Straight Outta Compton as one of the movies because
Sure.
it is
It's huge.
so American, and watching people stand up for their rights and also their culture, and culture being not different cultures coming out of being American. And I think that's something that America really has, is its own culture, because it's born out of other cultures.
Yeah.
Southern culture is so specific. New York culture is so specific.
New England culture is so specific.
New England.
Southwest is so different than...
Yeah. Like all of Oakland's culture is very different from San Francisco's culture, and
the Pacific Northwest and Bushwick.
Yeah, there are so many different cultures that are so American made. Obviously, they have a lot of influence from whatever people came and settled there and
or were there.
Yeah, or were there. But it's so fascinating to say, okay, well, there is, you could say Dolly Parton is a fantastic Appalachian music artist that brought that culture and that style of singing to light.
Totally.
And then you have completely different if you go 2 states over, you know?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Then you have Beyonce as like Texas.
Yeah.
And, I'm trying to like think about like other artists and their origins, because it's so cool to hear about. Like,
yeah. And I think as shitty as America is right now, it's not that I am anti-America.
No.
It's that I am anti this government and this legislation and everyone that is kind of in office right now.
Yeah. Except
for the people that are vocal and against issues and yada yada. I think there's a very big difference in being pro-America and being pro-Trump that they've kind of merged together, and you kind of can't be pro-America without someone assuming you're Republican and MAGA now.
Yeah. You bring up a great point, because I guess by the time that we post this, it'll be the 4th. And I always feel weird celebrating the 4th. Mm-hmm. And I was talking to my mom, and she was like, celebrate all the rights that you still have. And I was like, yeah, but then...
Well, now I'm scared.
Now I'm scared. But also, based off of culture is people being influenced, and someone seeing that there is a point of entry into influence, and it's so fun to be patriotic for anywhere that you live. But it's not fun when that patriotism is masked by hatred. And that's a very confusing thing to someone who wants to be supportive of all of her friends who have their rights in jeopardy. But also, I want to celebrate the idea of like, oh, a black woman was elected president.
Yeah.
Like, look how far we have come, but also, like, look where we're going right now. And that's just, yeah, it's a whole mess of things.
Yeah, I want to go eat hot dogs and watermelon and potato salad without saying, wait, but no, like, I'm not in a Republican way. Like,
not in a Republican way.
Like, this is just the American culture.
Yeah.
You know, and it sucks that they're so intertwined nowadays that just... You can be pro-America because there are things about America that are fantastic. I enjoy that we don't have a dictator at the moment. I enjoy how diverse our country is. I enjoy how biodiverse our country is.
Oh, it's one of the most biodiverse in the world.
Yeah, it's ginormous and beautiful, and there is so much gorgeous land that is currently taken care of and
I'm thankful
currently
that
still beautiful.
we have a separation of national and state governments. I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah, I am thankful to have a governor who also hates the administration.
He hates the administration more than anything else in the world.
I mean, he has Newsom has his
flaws. But one thing that he hates more than, helping out the low income and unhoused people in Los Angeles is
Donald Trump.
And boy, is he good at it.
Yeah, and so there are things to be grateful for being here, but also I think it's more patriotic to understand that you're allowed to acknowledge the things that aren't great.
But that's what makes America so, that's what the history of this country is, I think, is acknowledging the things that aren't great and doing something to change it.
Yeah. Anyways,
thank you guys for listening. Sometimes Issa and I are really smart.
Do you not have any hot takes?
I do have a hot take, but I'm trying to be like, guys, we're really smart.
Yeah. So, moral of the story is we like America. We don't like its politicians.
What's your hot take, babe?
I have two.
Okay.
My first is, I know you're not a Secret Lives of Mormon Wives gal.
Okay.
But two of them are going on Dancing with the Stars this
I heard.
season.
Yeah.
One of them either is still or in the past week had a baby. What do you mean you're about to go on national television 3 months postpartum?
She's going to pee her pants on stage.
Yeah. I don't know why they thought she was a good fit, but Whitney can move. I'm really excited to see Whitney on the show. Jen, I don't know how long she's going to last.
I don't know.
But Whitney, girl can dance. So I'm excited to see her on the show. I mean, I don't really watch it. I'll just see the clips, but should be interesting. Also, putting 2 in one season is interesting too.
Maybe but they also do 2 Olympians a year every 4 years.
But 2 reality TV stars, sure. 2 from the same show, that feels like a lot.
Sure.
Give Jen another year. Let her be a little more postpartum.
Yeah.
Anyways,
let her settle.
Yeah. What's your first
My
one?
first one is I got the ick last night.
Oh, from what?
I'll tell you later. But nothing gives me the ick more than when you, as a human being, you, believe that you are the main character. And to the extent that you think that the negative things that you're doing and facing to either yourself or to generally are character traits instead of something that you should amend and work on. And if you act like the main character 24/7, man, you give me the ick. I just get the ick. I'm like, stop it.
It's not always
so
about
cringe.
you.
It's cringe.
Yeah.
Who also sure. Will we be cast as main characters one day? Yeah, we will. But Issa and I are, in our daily lives, the funny B-plot girls.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm so interesting. I'm going on side quests all the time.
I don't have enough going on in my day-to-day to be the main character of a show.
Okay, but even still, acting like it versus being it is different.
Well, but I understand.
In general, yeah.
I'm the girl that it cuts to 3 seconds of her scooping ice cream because she's still at the same job. I'm definitely not the main character.
But that's okay. But guess what? One day you will be. But you don't act like it right now.
Yeah. Ooh, that's creepy.
I know. It gives me the ick.
Yeah.
I get secondhand embarrassment for myself.
Yeah. Speaking of the ick.
Okay.
I hate when listings on Actors Access or casting networks call themselves a mobisode.
Web series?
What the fuck is mobisode?
It's a vertical short form.
Yeah, call yourself a vertical. Mobisode? No.
Because they're trying to trick people.
Yeah, no thank you. That is the cringiest word I have ever heard in the entire world.
Yeah. On that note, also, pre-screens for things are fine. But if you're not paying me a if you pay me $50 a day max, why are you asking me to pre-screen?
They're like, no, but you're gonna get a copy, a credit, and a meal. Okay. And it's shooting for 3 weeks, and you're gonna
take
make
off.
me do a 4-page pre-screen? No, thank you.
Yeah, and also, like, most of the time they're not written well.
No.
But, like, if you want to cast me. It's just, I just get confused.
I just don't understand why that's the norm and why they think that they can do that.
So true. That's my hot take. What are we doing next week?
I don't remember.
We're going to do something interesting.
Something fun, I guess. I don't remember.
Guys, we're so excited to be back for season 2.
Woo!
This is going to be a bigger and better season. It's summertime in Los Angeles, so many interesting things to happen. It's going to be a scorcher this summer.
Yeah, it is. But hopefully not horrible.
No, it'll be great.
Yeah. We're excited to be back.
We're excited to be back, and we're so excited to get to know you guys more. And don't be afraid to reach out to us on socials at the Greek Chorus, pretty much on everywhere now. And we're so excited to see you guys next week.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Bye.
Bye.
I hope it records.